Hello everyone, DiscoWarlock here, and welcome back to another Hitchhiker's Guide to Albion Online. In this video, we're going to be covering the 4 pillars of your Destiny board. And no, I'm not talking about gathering, combat, refining, and farming, but another set. Mastery, specialization, learning points, and fame credits. Let's start with mastery. In Albion, a lot of new players think that higher tier gear equals the better character. Now, while this is the case in other MMOs, it isn't the case in Albion since we have the item specialization to factor in as well, something that I'll explain a little bit later. For now, view mastery as the foundation to one's weapon and armor, and specialization as the walls and roof. With higher mastery, you unlock more weapon abilities along with the ability to wear better versions of it, meaning for newer players that mastery isn't as important as you think. This brings me to explaining specialization and why it's more important than mastery. Take 2 characters for example, Bill and Bob. Note that these guys are completely identical, they have the exact same skill level and the exact same sets of gear, but Bob has 100 mastery and is wearing flat T8 with 0 spec, while Bill on the other hand has 60 mastery but 100 spec, and let's say he's wearing 6.2, which is equivalent to the tier 8. If Bill and Bob were to fight, well, who would win? If you'd guess Bob, unfortunately you're going to be incorrect. The reason why Bill wins is due to the IP advantage from his specialization. At 100 mastery, Bob is only getting a bonus 20 IP. However, Bill, who has 60 mastery and 100 spec, is getting a whopping 230 IP bonus. So for new players, the takeaway is higher IP equals better character, and the more specialization you have in one tree, the better or more proficient you will be with that weapon, along with an even higher IP advantage. There are, however, for some weapons, take for example quarterstaffs or the arcane tree, having a high spec isn't really needed because unless you're doing endgame content like GVGs, you don't really need the high spec. This is because they don't benefit as much as other weapons due to the specialization bonuses and only really require the level 70 or 75 abilities on the weapon. So now let's jump back to that house example from earlier. As a new player, you have the opportunity to earn learning points, which will become your friend. Think of them as your local contractor who can help you build up those walls on your foundation. Once you've earned about 25% of the fame on a weapon or piece of armor, you can spend some learning points to complete the level for you. This also applies to crafting, gathering, and refining, just not cooking and farming. In the early stages of Albion, it can be tempting to spend learning points, but from a veteran's perspective, they are better saved to spend on the later levels of specialization. So instead of having to earn millions of fame, you only have to earn a quarter of it and spend the learning points. Now, it will be a big chunk of learning points, which is why you want to save them. A few tips about the learning points. Don't spend them on weapons and armor mastery. A lot of new players kind of fall into this trap and think, if I get the higher gear, I'll be a better player. So save those learning points, don't spend them on that. Next, you want to try to get premium as fast as you can. For some players, spending the $10 doesn't quite work out, so their only other option is to earn in-game silver and buy premium that way. Either or, earning the extra 10 LP that you get from having premium goes a long way. And if you want to advance a gathering profession, using LP is great because nobody wants to sit and grind endlessly just to unlock tier 6, tier 7, and tier 8. Spending the LP really cuts that time in half. Lastly, let's look at fame credits. Thinking back to the house example, view fame credits as the $1 million mansion that is easy to obtain if you can afford it. Fame credits are earned when you max out a combat tree starting at the mastery level. You end up spending silver to convert the extra fame for fame credits. Note, only 10% of the fame is converted for armor and 40% for weapons with auto-respect on. However, this will drain your silver bank too, roughly 75% silver cost per fame credit. Now, without auto-respect, you only retain 2.5% of the total fame on armor and 10% on weapons, however, it won't cost you any silver. So once you acquire a bunch of fame credits, you can spend them on the weapon and armor trees to max those out, hence buying the $1 million mansion. Now most new players won't encounter fame credits until they have reached at least 100 mastery in something. But keep this in mind for when you do, as once you max out one tree, you can easily pick up another weapon or armor tree as well. Now another way to earn fame credits is to respec the points that you have in one tree into another. You're only going to retain 80% of that fame, however, and it's going to cost you quite a bit of silver depending on how much you've actually invested into that tree. So to quickly summarize this video, mastery is the foundation of your weapon and armor trees, and you don't really want to spend learning points on it. Specialization, however, is what raises your IP and is what you, as a new player, should be working towards maxing out and spending the LP on it. This is because the higher specialization you have, the more damage your weapons abilities, CCs, heals, etc. all do. Now, for learning points, as a non-premium member, you earn 10 learning points per day, and as a premium member, you earn 20. So save your learning points and spend on the late levels of your spec. Now, once you max a few things out, or maybe you didn't like a weapon or armor tree, earn some fame credits by draining your wallet and max out something you'd like. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know down in the comments if you have any questions or want some more clarification on things. In the meantime, please like and subscribe to stay tuned.